So next poisoning, students, is opioid poisoning. Okay, opioid poisoning. Okay, so generally opioids such as morphine, okay, morphine and their semi-synthetic and synthetic drugs are generally used as a narcotic analgesic. Okay, so this generally opioid poisoning generally may seen in drug abusers. Okay, drug abusers, those who receive the opiates for several times in order to enjoy the euphoric effect of the opiates. So with this, there is a chances of getting overdose of opiates. It causes opioid poisoning. Okay, and also the opioid poisoning occur because of the accidental and as well as the overdose administrations. Okay, so this opiates generally uh, major poisoning occur because of the suppression of the central nervous system. Okay, so opiates depress the respiratory drive, and overdose of the opiates mainly characterized by apnea, difficulty in breathing, pinpoint people, that is meiosis, and stupor. Okay, stupor is nothing but the patient is unable to respond to your question and answer. Okay, the patient stays stagnant without any response. This is called stupor. These are the symptoms of the overdose of opiates. Generally this overdose of opiate symptoms, it is look like a barbell state poisoning. Okay, so you are clearly diagnosing the poisoning associated with, you can clearly differentiate the opioid poisoning with that of barbell state poisoning. Okay, similarly the manifestations are look like similarly, but very few things will differ from barbell state poisoning. Okay, so major manifestation of opioid poisoning is apnea, meiosis, and stupor. Okay, so in severe cases, the respiratory rate results in hypoxemia. Hypoxemia is nothing but decrease in oxygen levels. Okay, which causes coma. Okay, and also cardiac arrest is also possible. Okay, because of overdose. Okay, because it will suppress the cardiac center in the central nervous system. Okay. Mm. So next, over apnea, it also results in cardiac arrhythmia and cardiac arrest. Okay, so how this opiates causes toxic effects because of the activation of opioid receptor distributed throughout the body. Okay, throughout the body. So generally, what are the manifestations of opioid poisoning? Generally, initially, the patient is mm, comatose, like stupor. Okay, and the person is suffering from difficulty in breathing because of the respiratory suppression. Pinpoint people, there is a respiratory paralysis, maybe respiratory paralysis and circulatory paralysis because of the respiratory center suppression and cardiovascular suppression. And there is a hypothermia. Okay, decrease in urine formation. Pinpoint people. um, next thing is cyanosis. Last one is coma. So these are the some clinical manifestations of opioid poisoning. Again, I will repeat the manifestations. Whatever the manifestations, mainly because of the CNS depressant effect of the opioids. Okay, so central mediated toxic effects include. Okay, initially the patient is stupor. Okay, next the patient is in stupor, um, suffering from dizziness. Next, loss of consciousness, coma. Okay, next is difficulty in breathing. difficulty in breathing due to respiratory paralysis. Next is there is a hypoxia. Okay, next circulatory failure. Okay, the person is suffering from bradycardia. Next hypotension. Okay, because of the suppression of vasomotor center in the brain. Okay, so next is the patient suffering skeletal muscle weakness. uh, Skeletal muscle weakness, pinpoint people, the body temperature is goes down, hypothermia. Okay, so last coma. Okay, so these are the opioid poisoning manifestations. Okay, so next is treatment. Okay, so treatment immediately you can do. Okay, you can do same. Okay, you maintain the abcd. Okay, you maintain the airway. uh, you maintain the airway. Okay, to maintain the airway. Okay, is any obstruction in the airway you have to remove it. Okay, so next b. Okay, provide the breathing by providing artificial respiration. A B C. Okay, we maintain the circulation by administration of IV fluids, transfusion fluids. Okay, sodium chloride, dextrose solution. So next you are administered vasopressor agent, the drugs which improve the circulation by cardiac stimulant effect and as well as the vasoconstriction effect to maintain the blood pressure, sufficient blood pressure. Mm, Next is D. So ABCD. Next, supportive treatment. Okay, as a supportive treatment is nothing but respiratory suppression, respiratory support, and as well as circulatory support. Later on, you go for the gastric lavage. Gastric lavage. Okay. Next, same you write down the gastric how you are going to do gastric lavage. So next is administration of activated charcoal. Activated charcoal. Then you have to induce the emetic by induction of emetic. Induce the emesis by induction by administration of emetics. Okay, so later on you can uh, uh, so these are all the things you can you always you have to administer the symptomatic care. Okay, symptomatic, if the patient is arrhythmia, you can correct the arrhythmia by giving anti-arrhythmic drugs. If the person is suffering from fever, you can not like that. So if suppose the person is suffering from convulsions, you can correct the convulsions. Any fluid and electrolyte abnormalities, you can maintain the fluid and electrolyte abnormalities by giving transfusion fluids. Okay, so last one is administration of antagonist. Okay, naloxone. Okay, so naloxone is the antagonist. It is going to be used in overdose of poisonings. Okay. Mm, this antagonist, it is given by any route of administrations, maybe IV, intramuscular, subcutaneously, intranasally. Okay, then so this is about naloxone administration. You can how naloxone is going to be work. It displays the opioids from the opioid receptors. With this, they suppress the overdose of the poisonous. Okay, this is about the management of opioid poisoning. So management opioid poisoning. Okay, again I will briefly just tell the outline. So first, what is opiates? Give some example. What is meant by opiates? Opiates, these are the drugs generally used as a narcotic, and also example morphine and their derivatives like tramadol and also on. Next is generally how opioid poisoning occur because of the accidental administrations, overdose administration, later accident administration, and as well as suicidal purpose, generally seen in drug abusers. Opioid poisoning. Then manifestations of opioid poisoning. So mainly manifestation resulting from the CNS depression associated with the excessive stimulation of the opioid receptors in the central nervous system. So opioid receptor stimulated causes overall CNS depression. So with this it produces a manifestation like this. Okay, respiratory failure. A respiratory failure, the patient exhibited in the form of dizziness, stupor. Okay, so next respiratory failure, circulatory failure, bradycardia, hypotensions. Okay, so next pinpoint people. Okay, next decrease in urine output, and the patient suffering from constipation also. constipation, okay, hypothermia and all. So management is nothing but so early decontamination by giving early decontamination by following the procedure, gastric lavage, administration of activated charcoal, next is administration of emetics. So later on support to care and provide the ABC. Okay, within this you have to maintain the respiration and respiration by giving proper oxygen, and circulation maintained by administration of IV fluids and vasopressor agents like adrenaline and dopamine. Okay, they will able to maintain the blood pressure by vasoconstriction and stimulation of heart. Okay, so later on, specific antidotes like naloxone. So naloxone is administered by IV route. Okay, until the patient is recovered from the signs and symptoms of the opioid poisoning. Okay, so naloxone is a opioid antagonist. It is used generally management of overdose of opioid poisoning. It is works by displacement of the opiates from its opioid receptors. Okay, so if possible, you can search the naloxone dose. You can write down the dose also. Okay, so with this, we completed four poisoning, specific poisoning, not four. One is barbiturates, organophosphorus compounds, opiates. Okay, so these are the okay barbiturates, opioid poisoning, organophosphorus compounds poisoning. In the last remaining poison says heavy metals poisoning and their antagonists. Heavy metal poisoning. Okay.